What's going on, everybody? My name is Jeff Bailey and welcome to the channel and welcome back for another episode of Spanish Knives. Last time we took a look at a knife from a maker in the Catalan region, which is where I visited. The other knives I've got one today, I've got another one later in the series. They are from another region in Spain, more towards the middle of the country, from a city called Albacete, which I could be butchering. I apologize if so. But from what brief research I did, Albacete, Spain is like Sheffield, England when it comes to knives. They've been making knives out of there that are like iconic Spanish pocket knives since like the 16th centuries, something like that, 17th century. So it's one of those things where if you just find a random pocket knife that was made in Spain, chances are it was made in Albacete. It may even say Albacete on it. So the knife we've got today is from a brand called Salamandra, and it's kind of a cool little gentleman's folder slip joint. Let's take a look. All right, so here's the box. Salamandra knives. This is kind of just a mark of a company. R.I.S. knives, and here you can see that that Albacete, España, hecho en España, made in Spain. And so this is a company. I tried to do some research. Honestly, I just saw this on a shelf and liked what it got for the price point. This is a company that it's almost like trying to do research, like I said, on a Sheffield, England specific knife makers research. It's just like a web of makers and marks, and it was very hard. I think this is a newer, at least, mark. Anyway, this is just the box. We're not here to look at the box. Here's the knife. This is a really small, you can see it's just like the length of my hand, little sleek gentleman's folder that I saw. It's kind of a little stiff, needs to be broken in some. It is a slip joint. You can see back there, back spring, typical thing there. No half stop on this one. Opens up, and it's just a nice little. It's almost reminiscent of like a little mini sodbuster. It's got that drop tip blade on it. Very sort of, down to earth nail nick. No, nothing special there. But that nice, just kind of drop point curve belly. Very nice. Small pocket knife. Something a little different you don't see a lot is this one. Built into the back spring actually is like a little lanyard tie point, something like that. It actually came with a little bead tied to it, but it's a small knife, so I decided to take that off. And all right, I had to adjust my light there. It's really hard to get this to come out. This box came labeled with a type of wood for these handles. These are wood handles. But I don't think it was right. I actually now forgot even what I was told it was in the store. But after doing some research, I'm pretty positive that this is African Blackwood, not ebony, but the wood that's like relative to it's a rosewood variant, right? It's same as a lot of other knife woods, same as Coca-Cola, things like that, but. You can see, and pardon the glare, I just couldn't capture this grain. It's a very dark grain knife, but it polishes really well. You can see kind of the sheen of my finger reflecting off there. Very smooth, very high polished. Let's see if I can just barely get this closer. Yeah, that's probably about as good as we're going to get. So dark grain, hard knife. And I could see this was probably the most telling for me. Actually, let me do this end. Is you can see the specks, sort of the I don't know if those are the vein equivalent of in the wood running through there. The end grain has those specks on it, and pictures I saw of African Blackwood had that same kind of specs. So that's my guess. But anyway, really sweet little guy here. All steel construction, best I can tell, minus a little brass insert or something like that on the pivot, which is all ground smooth. You got a nice little lanyard clip at the end here, and a sweet little drop point with like a plunge grind. This knife does have a kick. It's even got a little sharpener's notch there, which I like. Take a look at the etch here. So you've got that made in Spain. And then that 14C28 steel. And I believe that's the same 14C. We usually see 14C28 in Sandvik steel, which I believe is a Swedish steel. You see Kershaw's in this kind of steel. I think you even see zero tolerances in this steel. This is stainless steel. Like I said, Swedish made. From what I understand, this comes up a lot in European knives as one of their main choices for stainless steel. Mora knives come in this. I know I've seen before. So pretty kind of sweet deal for this was a little bit more expensive than the R.I.S knife we looked at previously. This one's about like a €50 knife. It's got kind of a rough pivot on it, but that might just need some lubrication. And there's a few fit and finish issues that we'd nitpick over if it was a Great Eastern. You can see at closed the back spring's a little bit recessed here. I can feel that nick there. I believe when opened, actually, it might still be. No, actually, that comes up pretty good open. No complaints open. Still very solid as far as play. No half stop, but it does open nice and well. I do like that they've got the kick there. I like the blade design. This is really great kind of small gentleman's folder that doesn't break the bank with a usable blade design. Pretty unique little stamp there. And a steel it's not, I mean, this is not China steel. This is not a bad steel here. So I'm really excited to see how this knife handles. Interested to see how these high polish African Blackwood, at least that's what I think it is. If you think different, let me know in the comments what you think this wood is. But I think this will be a good knife that'll last for some time. Just another great example of pocket knives that come out of Spain. So we've got 2 more knives to look at in the series, so I will catch you in the next one.